Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So today we're going to be talking about basically the ultimate guide to getting business credit and financing. We're going to map out all the loans, the credit lines, grants, angel investing, all the different ways you can actually get money for a business. We're going to go about, I'm going to do my best to try to get this done in about 90 minutes, but we have to have probably over 30 different kind of ways we're going to talk about getting money today. So this is going to be really action packed. So whether you have good credit, a good business that's generating tons of revenue and you're looking for the best and cheapest way to get money, or whether you are looking for to get money when you typically can't get money somewhere else, you don't have the cash flow, the credit, or the collateral to qualify, maybe you're even just starting your business, we're going to be talking about multiple options that will work for every one of those scenarios. So before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Ty Crandall. For those of you that don't know me, whenever I do about 90 minutes and spend about 90 minutes with you, I just want to kind of give you an idea of my experience and knowledge in this industry. So I spent about 17 years in the finance industry ever since I actually got out of the Air Force back in the 90s. I speak about business credit worldwide. It's very common. I think in the last 2 months, I've been to like 8 different places talking about business credit and how to obtain financing. I'm also the author of 2 of the best-selling books on consumer and commercial credit, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. And as a result of that, I'm also an authority that speaks on news stations and podcast radio. I've been featured in Inc., Forbes Entrepreneur. I'm very blessed to have an opportunity to be the go-to person when it comes to the topic of commercial credit. And I also oversee the largest business credit partner division in the United States as well. And if you're not familiar with what that is, basically we help people get into the business of offering business credit financing and help them know everything that's needed to offer business credit financing and help service all of their customers. So along the way, we've helped now, I think, well over 15,000 people build business credit and obtain financing. And so what I'm going to teach you today is real world stuff. This isn't conceptual. This is exactly what's going on right now at this point in time with all of the market or all of the funding products that are available today. As a matter of fact, we're going to dive into pretty much almost every legitimate type of business funding that's out there today. Also love having fun, hanging out with my family. It's probably one of our funnest things to do is we spend a lot of time at Disney. And during the summer, this time of year, we spend most of our summer in Disney over an RV as well. And I like to do all kinds of crazy and fun activities, including an avid sailor and pilot. So here's kind of a look at my personal life, just to kind of give you an idea of what things are like behind the scenes when I'm not actually here in the office. I'm really blessed to have an opportunity to live in a state like Florida where there's just so many unbelievably cool things to do. So let's start with the beginning. Look, I find that a lot of people fail trying to get money, not because money's not available, but because they don't know where to look. Most people try to get money from their bank first, which could absolutely, no, not could be, it is absolutely the worst place you could ever go to look for money. Okay, and a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of funding options that are available, that these funding options exist, that or where to access them. And that's one of the biggest problems that we see. If you go to Google today and type in business loan, well, there's so many different options and they don't tell you if one requires revenue or one requires good credit. So we're going to decode all those things today so you don't fall into this trap that so many others fail. A lot of people don't know that business credit even exists. They don't know that you can get business credit regardless of personal credit quality or how to do it. Although most of this webinar, we're going to be talking about loan programs and all the different ways you can get money, we will spend time talking about business credit, and with your permission, if time permits, we will also kind of take a quick look through the steps of building business credit as well. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't know that money's available based on business strengths. You know, when you walk into a bank, they require good credit, they require cash flow, they require collateral, and a lot of people don't have all 3 of those things. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't know that just based on one strength and one strength alone, you're able to get capital. And we're going to talk about a lot of different options that are based on those strengths, and we're going to talk about options that will work for you even if you have no strengths whatsoever. So you're in the right place. Well, if you're looking to get money to start or grow a business, then this will be probably the most action-packed 90 minutes you've ever had. Because again, we are going to look at what we've researched and found to be every legitimate funding product that's currently available in the business space. And by legitimate, I mean there's a lot of stuff out there that's not really legit when you look into it. So these are all funding products that are actually closing, lenders that are offering programs that are actually closing and people are actually getting money from them. In our research, again, this is pretty much every legitimate funding program that we've been able to find. If you're looking for high limit revolving accounts, if you're looking to separate business and consumer credit, and you're looking to get the best rates and terms on the financing that you get, then that's one of the things that we're going to be diving into as well. And if you're looking for the easiest, fastest way to get the most amount of money, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about funding options you can secure within hours, funding options that don't have credit checks that you can get within a day, for example, and many other options that will work. And if you're looking to get credit lines, which are very hard to get, most people only are going to their bank to get credit lines. We're going to talk about a lot of alternative credit line options that, again, some of them don't even require a personal credit check. For example, we have a $100,000 credit line we use here at Credit Suite, and we tap into here and there, and we didn't even have to have a credit check. Had no credit check to even get approved for that. I'm going to show that to you later. I'm going to introduce you to how that works and give you the ability to come in and get that kind of funding as well. And again, as an attendee, there's also extras. So let me kind of dive into that. Now, most questions are going to be answered during the event. So if you have questions, try to save them to the end, because you're going to find that, and I already see questions pulling in, you're going to find that almost all the questions you're going to ask, I will address during the next 90 minutes. So if you kind of save them to the end, that gives us an opportunity to get all the questions answered before they're even asked. And then it gives us time to jump into any of the ones that you may have after that we didn't get a chance to cover. And by staying into the end event, you'll hear about bonuses you can access. You'll hear about some special bonuses. I have 6 bonuses that you may have the ability to access, or you can access if you choose to do so. And these are really cool and worth a ton of money. I mean, I am not blowing this out of proportion when I say literally thousands of dollars when it comes to credit monitoring and other things that we'll be talking about how you can access at the end. And yes, you will receive a playback of the webinar. That's one of the most commonly asked questions. If you stay to the end, by the end, I mean before the question and answer, then you will get a playback of the webinar. Now, a lot of people will stay through the Q&A. The Q&A, we could sit here for 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes even longer, making sure that your questions are answered. You don't have to stay through the question and answer session if you don't want to, but if you stay to the end, you will get a playback of the webinar, and you're also going to receive the webinar slides as well. This is something that we've never done before. So you're going to be able to access the webinar slides as well as receive an actual playback of the webinar. And as I mentioned, you don't need to stay for the Q&A to actually receive these. So that being said, let's dive in. Let's talk about types of business credit, types of loans, types of credit lines that you have the ability to access right now. And let's take a look at some of these multiple options. So first of all, let's talk about bank loans, because it is where most people start. So conventional loans and lines are banks that basically offer loans that are backed by SBA. Banks, in big banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc., they by default have to be very conservative in risk because they're government insured. So as a result, they typically offer SBA loans to business owners because SBA guarantees like up to 90% of the loan, which means if you default, SBA pays the 90% of what you defaulted on. So it's very low risk to the actual lender. Now, SBA, as I mentioned, insures up to 90%, and these are very hard to qualify for because you have 2 places to qualify. One, you have to qualify through SBA standards, which are very stringent. Then you have to qualify for the bank's underwriting guidelines. So you have to really double qualify with 2 different sources. But you can get credit lines up to $5 million. You can get loans up to $20 million with SBA 7A program. And what 7A means is it just simply means a working capital loan, which means you can use the money for a multitude of different purposes. It doesn't just have to be for real estate, for example, which would be their 504 program. They offer a 504 program, which is specifically for the purpose of real estate, equipment, and some other very select niches that you might choose to spend the money for. Now, if you're interested in or credit lines, well, these are called CAPLines from the bank. So when you go into a bank to get a credit line, they're typically issuing you one of these 5 cap lines from SBA. there's a seasonal line, and what this basically does is it's for seasonal businesses, right? If you run a business that's only busy a certain time of the year, like if you're in a state where they have ski slopes and the ski slopes are only open for 6-7 months of the year, well then that's a seasonal line. A seasonal line is good. It helps get you through the slower times in your business. There's a contract line, and this is for direct labor material costs. This is basically for builders. It's for people typically that are contractors in the construction industry. And there's a couple of these kind of lines that SBA offers because that's a tough industry to be in. Builders have to build homes, plumbers and electricians and all these people do the work, and then they oftentimes don't get paid till the home's done being built. So they've got to float that money and do all the work and commit all the money to get the job done and not get paid for a while. Well, contract lines help fill that gap. Now, another one is a builder's line, and this is specifically for the purpose of builders and general contractors. And again, it's another type of credit line that works for that specific purpose of covering direct labor and material cost when it comes to builders, when it comes to construction. There's a standard asset-based credit line, and there's also a smaller version of that called the small asset-based line. And these are basically dealing with companies that have like cyclical growth or companies that are offering financing terms to customers and need to pay things in between before they're actually getting paid. And the small asset-based lines, exactly the same thing. It's just a lower loan amount, under 200 grand, and therefore it's just a little bit easier to qualify for. Now, that being said, that's the hard to get stuff. This is the stuff that requires good credit of 700 type credit scores or better. It requires cash flow. It requires collateral for you to have any chance of actually being able to get approved. So what if you don't have perfect cash flow, credit, or collateral? Well, that's when alternative SBA credit lines, alternative SBA loans really come into effect. And what these are basically from private investors. They're from alternative lenders. So what happened here was and you might hear me cough a little bit. I'm kind of getting over a little bit of a cold. So what happened was when everything kind of changed in the economy in 2006, 7, and 8, there was a law that came out called Dodd-Frank, and it really restricted what banks can do. So banks pulled back the amount of credit and loans being issued, pulled back. It's still much more restricted than it ever was. And these alternative lenders started to pour into the space and find all these ways to help business owners get loans when banks couldn't help. And so it's really an exciting time for you and I, because if you're an entrepreneur looking for money, there's probably more opportunities today to ever get money for your business than there ever has been, because this pullback from conventional banks and lending to business owners and entrepreneurs has created this environment where all these private investors and alternative lenders have started to pour into the space. And they do loans that are very similar to SBA loans. They're longer term, they're lower rate, they're just easier to qualify. Rates are 7%, 8%, pretty similar to SBA. Loan amounts of $25,000 to millions of dollars. And it's typically based on revenues or profits reflected on your tax returns. Look, I'm going to give you one of the best tips you may ever receive if you're really looking for credit lines and loans with low rates. Show profits on your tax returns. Yes, your accountant is going to tell you to write off everything, but you show me a business that shows a loss, and you show me another business that shows a profit of $5,000, I will show you a business that has $5,000 profit that can get all different kinds of financing that the other business can't get. In our world of commercial lending, it is a completely different scenario when you have a business that is showing a loss versus a business that's showing a profit, even when the profit is small. So when you're filing your taxes every year, keep this in mind. If you want credit lines, if you want loans from these type of alternative lenders with low rates, the key is to show some profits on the tax returns. If they're seeing revenues increasing from year to year and they're seeing that you have profits, then those are the main factors, even above and beyond credit, that they're looking for to actually lend you money. Now, speaking of credit, revenue lending is a great program that you could pretty much qualify for regardless of personal credit. So there's two different forms of this kind of financing. There's revenue lending and merchant cash advance. Merchant cash advance only looks at your Visa card deposits, your MasterCard deposits, and you're lent money based on those. Revenue lending looks at all revenue going through the bank account. It looks at all the deposits, cash deposits, check deposits, all different kind of money that's going into the bank account, not just credit cards. Super easy to qualify. Now, I say funding in 72 hours, and that's the opposite of an exaggeration. We actually have clients that get funded same day with this program within 24 hours. But most lenders can secure the money and have it in your bank account in 72 hours or less. Now, to get approved with most sources, you need to have $10,000 in revenue in 1 year in business. But there are compensating factors. There are exceptions. So if you are really manage your bank account well, or you have a lot more than $100,000 in revenue, then you can typically get approved with less than a year in business. Or if you have been in business years and have really, other factors that are compensating factors, then maybe you can get approved with less than $100,000 or $120,000 a year in revenue. But most sources are going to want you to have $10,000 a monthly revenue and 1 year time in business. And again, with exceptions, you can get this down to about $5,000 in revenue a month in 6 months in business and still be able to get approved. So you typically are going to be lent about 12% of your annual revenue. So if your annual revenue is $1 million a year, then you could possibly get about $120,000 with this program. And we've seen loans up to $400,000 to $500,000 available with revenue lending. So again, a quick way to look at it is I kind of look at it at about 10% of your annual revenue. Meaning if you do 200,000 in annual revenue, 10% of that's about 20 grand. That's conservatively about what you can get on this program. A little bit more because it's actually 12%, not 10. You can also get credit lines with this program. So a lot of it, not a lot, but some of the lenders in this space that offer revenue lending are now offering credit lines with it as well. And here's why. A lot of people that get this loan, there are other banks that will lend secondary loans right behind it. So there's a first position and a second position loan. Well, some of these lenders have caught on to this and said, we don't want people to offer our customers second position loans. So we're going to give them the first loan. And then we're also going to give them a $20,000 credit line as well, which is really cool because it's easier to qualify for than most credit lines because the credit requirements aren't as stringent as many other programs that you may see. Now, revenue lending, what does it take to qualify? Responsible bank account management. That's mainly what they're looking for. They want to make sure that you're not overdrawing your account, that you have positive funds in your bank account at the end of each month, that you're basically managing your bank account responsibly. And a lot of the lenders have 520 FICO score requirements. A lot of other lenders have no FICO score requirements with this program as all. So it's something you can get approved for just based on your cash flow, regardless of collateral and regardless of consumer credit. Now, here's an example of a client of ours, Dr. Brannon, who originally he was trying to fight off a $417,000 tax lien, tried to get money to his bank, as many people probably here have, was denied, and actually was in the process of shutting down the business because the IRS was coming after him. And we were able to work with him and had serious credit issues, 580 credit score, no collateral. Several banks had denied him. And through multiple rounds of funding, we've now secured over $1.5 million for him in financing, including many different types of revenue loans that he would get and pay off. And he's a real success story. He's opened up a second office, so he's doubled his practice. He actually ran for Senate as an independent. So it's really a big jump from almost going out of business because he didn't have the money to pay a $400,000 tax lien to now securing over $1.5 million that he's used to double the size of his business. And guys, this is why I do what I do, because it's really exciting to see what entrepreneurs can do if you just empower them with the capital they need to do it. But their whole system is so broken where banks aren't telling you the things we're going to talk about today, and it's difficult to figure out what kind of programs you can access and where to get them. So I really wanted to do this webinar today to create more of these type of success stories of what you can do when you actually have success with attaining this kind of capital. So one of the newest programs to really hit the scene in the 2017 are artificial intelligence credit lines. So some lenders are now offering instant approvals using AI. And what's happening is they're basically able to tap right into your bank account. So they get your username, they get your password, and their computers are automatically reviewing the responsibility of how you manage your bank account, and they're making instant decisions. So instead of it being that you send in 6 months bank statements and they manually review those and they give you an approval, these computers are doing it with no documentation. You don't even have to supply bank statements, and you're able to get instant approvals because, again, you're able to get approved by them looking directly into your bank account instead of coming in and looking at other factors as well. Okay, so a lot of different programs and options that you may have here. So you can also get a line of credit up to 150 grand with this program. I have all kinds of alerts happening here on my computer that I'm trying to shut down. So you can get a line up to about $150,000 as well with this program. So it's a great way to be able to get approved for a lot of different kind of financing without having to supply documentation. Now, we've got a lender that does no credit check at all. So there's no credit check required. There's no inquiry. They're not even looking at the quality of your credit to make the lending decision. And we've got other lenders that will go as low as 620 FICO score and still be able to approve you for this program. So what do you need to qualify? About 3 months in business, and you're also going to need good bank account management, okay? You need to make sure that you manage your bank account responsibly. If you manage your bank account responsibly, that's what these computers are ultimately looking for, okay? So if you're doing that one thing and managing the bank account responsibly, then you can typically get approved as long as you've been in business for 3 months or more, okay? So also, it's no doc financing. You don't have to supply documentation because, again, what they're doing is they're looking directly into your bank account to actually make the approval decision, so you don't actually have to come in and supply any of the documentation that you typically need to get approved for many other kind of programs. PayPal and Square approvals. Look, if you're not using PayPal and Square now, you absolutely should be, okay? Because PayPal and Square actually will give you a lot more money than you're ever able to come in and get through other revenue lending type of programs, okay? So it's easy to get approved through PayPal and Square because, again, they don't even pull credit. There's no consumer credit check at all for them to approve you, and they'll approve you for $120,000, sometimes even higher. So it's a great way to get money because you can get very, very, very high approvals. And again, the nice thing is that there's no credit check whatsoever to be able to get approved. So this is a great way to go because what you find with PayPal and Square is that PayPal and Square will actually give you much more money than you will ever be able to get through normal revenue lending programs. You can actually get a loan up to about 30% of your deposits into PayPal and Square. So that's about 3 times as much as the other revenue lending type of programs that's out there today. Not too bad, considering there's no consumer credit check. I recommend that all of our clients get set up with PayPal and Square and process at least some of their credit card transactions through one or the other, because these are some of the easiest to qualify for programs that are out there. And they also offer a lot of programs, including fixed fees of like $500, and then they basically just take a percentage of your PayPal or Square sales to get paid back. This is exactly how revenue lending works. They deduct money daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, right from your bank account to get paid. Same thing with PayPal and Square. It's just they don't have credit checks, whereas a lot of other lenders do, and they do about 3 times the amount of lending than you're going to find with other programs. Securities financing. Well, this is when you're using stocks, bonds, IRAs, or 401k of yourself or somebody else that may want to pledge those things to your business or be a guarantor to be able to get money. You can use a guarantor instead. So the reason I say this is that, 75% of business owners get money from friends and family. Well, if you're one of that 75%, it's going to be much easier for you to go to a family member and have them let you use the stocks, the bonds, the 401k, the IRA as collateral in case of default, to get the money that you need versus physically shelling out cash. Because the risk here is if you don't pay, they lose the stocks, for example. But if you do pay, then they still earn interest on the stocks. They still get the returns. They still get all the benefits they're getting now. The only drawback would be if you actually defaulted. So this is important. Because as an entrepreneur, if you're looking to get money, you need to be as creative as possible. And then a lot of times you need to pull together money from multiple different sources that we're going to discuss here. So this is a great way for you to tap into money that you have through stocks, bonds, 401k, or IRA. But if you don't write it off. You still might have other people around you that would be willing to pledge these things and make it easier for you to get money from others to be able to invest in your business. You can get about 90% financing of whatever the value of the stock is, and 100% financing of the value of a 401k. But that 401k has to be yours. It can't be sitting with the current employer. And that's usually the requirement of the employer. The employer would have to choose whether or not you're able to use it. And usually if it's linked to an employer, it's not. And again, they still earn the interest on the investments, rates of 5% or lower. You can get a loan or a credit line, and consumer credit doesn't matter. These programs don't even have credit checks. They don't care about your consumer credit quality. They don't even look at your revenue. So these are programs you can get even if you're just getting started, even if you're just coming in and starting a business. Inventory credit lines. This is a short-term line of credit made to a business, allowing it to purchase products to sell. Or you can also borrow against inventory you already have. This is a perfect program if you need to get inventory for a business, or if you already have inventory but are light on cash, where you can get a credit line against the inventory that you already have. You can get credit lines for about 50% of the actual value of your inventory. And again, personal credit quality doesn't matter, nor does cash flow. All that matters is the actual asset itself, which is inventory. Okay, AR and purchase order financing. Okay, so two completely different kind of financing here that also can work for you. You get up to 90% of the actual value of your account receivables in about 24 hours. Okay, what is an account receivable? It's when somebody pays you on terms. So for example, on Credit Suite, when customers enroll with us to get business credit financing, we have payment options that allow them to pay us over like 7 months time. That's account receivables. Well, if you have other businesses with the government paying you over time, well, then you can get up to 90% financing advanced to you within 24 hours. So an example here is that if I don't know why, but I kind of default to the same example, which is a buddy of mine, and he does all the plastic mugs at Busch Gardens, the plastic mugs that you way overpay for at a drink at the parks. Well, he produces these, serves them up to Busch Gardens, and then waits sometimes months to get paid. With AR financing, he can get that money in 24 hours and get the rest of it, the other 10% minus the lender's fee, once Busch Gardens actually pays that invoice. So factor rates are as low as 1.33%, so super affordable money. You got to be in business 1 year. The receivables have to come from the government or another business. And another kind of similar kind of financing is called purchase order financing. It's if you have purchase orders that you need filled and you might not have the money or want to spend the money to do it. So let's say that you're a t-shirt embroiderer and you get a huge order, but you got to get the t-shirts to be able to embroider them. Well, purchase order financing, you could get 95% of the money you need to buy the shirts, then you embroider and then you sell them, and then you pay back that money. So it gets you the money you need to get the supplies to actually fulfill the order without that money actually coming out of your pocket. Angel investing. So angels give cash in trade for ownership stake, often at the start of a company. So there's venture capital, there's angel investing. Angel investing typically happens in the early stages of a business. In a lot of cases, before anything is even sold, before there's any kind of profit. Usually investments are $5,000 to $25,000. It's fairly small. Sometimes with networks of angel investors, they have even more money because they're pulling together angel investors into one different platform. Now, again, these pull cash from a bunch of investors. People can invest hundreds of dollars or thousands, very few thousands of dollars, and they pull all the money together and invest into businesses. Now, you need a good and short pitch deck. And you can do all kinds of research online about pitch decks. This webinar is obviously not long enough for us to be able to go over how to put together a good pitch deck. But basically, you're telling angels all about you. It's like a summarized business plan, what the model is, what the idea is, how you're going to generate money, the kind of money that you're going to generate. It's, like I said, a condensed business plan overview of your business. And you can also get gust.com, and that's a great source for you to actually tap in to and learn more about other angels and angel investing networks. Now, take a screenshot of this, and don't forget that if you're staying through the end before the Q&A, you will get a playback of the webinar and you will get the actual slides. What this is some of our research, and I'm going to show you 100 different angel investing networks and angels that you could possibly tap into. We are in the process of building this into our finance suite for our clients to use. And so this is just the general basic research that we're doing at this point. So there's about 20 here. Okay, here are a lot more. You could take a quick screenshot, or you will get the slides if you're staying till the end. Here are even more. These are all individual angels, or these are actual angel investing networks, probably top 100 of them that you could actually tap into to be able to get the money that you're looking for. Okay, here's about another, 25 or so. And then that'll bring us here to actually past 100, where you can actually tap into these networks, tap into these individual programs to actually get angel investing. So the nice thing about angel investing is that you're getting money in exchange for equity of your business, but it's not money that you have to pay back until the business sells or is acquired. So the nice thing about that is you don't have the interest, you don't have the payments that you're typically going to have with a lot of different loans. Equipment financing. So you can get financing to buy new equipment even as a startup. So a friend of mine is building, I would say, a doctor's practice, but that's not the case. What they do is they run doctor practices. They do the marketing, they do the support, they do all of the work that doctor practices typically do on their own. And it's a great model. And to do part of what they did, they needed equipment. So they came for a loan or a credit line. One of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make. If you need money, you have to think about what you need the money for, because in a lot of cases, there's specific financing for that purpose. In her case, we got equipment financing for her to buy the equipment she needed. Then we got a credit line, and she used it for payroll and other things. But because we got equipment financing, she didn't have to burn her credit line to use it to buy equipment. So even startups can qualify, and you can get approved with a FICO as low as 580. Okay, equipment leasing requires better credit in 1 year in business. It's very similar to financing, but it will give you significantly better terms than you're going to get on the financing side. Now, this is major equipment only. You can't use like a printer and computers in your office. It's the stuff that you see an image of. It's back of here, backhoes, and it's, big trucks, and it's forklifts. It's that type of equipment, one piece of equipment that has a lot of value, for example. And you can get loans up to $2 million with equipment financing. Now, there's another kind of financing called equipment sale lease back, which is if you already own equipment. Let's say you own a piece of equipment that has some sort of value. Let's say your grandpa does, your friend does, and they're willing to pledge those because they're not using them, so you can get money to fund the business. Well, that's exactly what equipment sale leaseback is. You're ultimately selling to the lender for cash the equipment, then you lease it back from them, and when you finish the lease, the equipment's back free and clear. You own it free and clear again. So you've got to have, again, at least one larger piece of higher value equipment to qualify. You can use somebody else's equipment, and you typically can get up to about 50% of the fire sale or wholesale value of that equipment. And again, credit doesn't matter here, nor does collateral. What they're really looking, nor does cash flow. What they're really looking for here is just the actual value of the equipment. Okay, book of business financing. This is only for insurance agents, and it's where they're using renewable commissions to be able to get financing. Now, you can buy an insurance agency and use their renewable commissions, okay, or their book of business to actually get the money you need to buy their business, or you can use a book of business that you already have. You can get up to 140% of estimated exit book value. What does that mean? It means if you sold the business, then you can get about 140% of the exit book value of that business. 3 to 10-year loan term, 3 to 9% plus prime rate as an interest rate, so fairly low rates. Challenge credit's okay. And basically, you're just using your book of business you have as an insurance agent, or if you're looking to buy an insurance agency, you're using the book of business from another insurance agency to actually make the purchase. House reseller financing. Have any flippers in here, real estate investors? Well, this is for you. Okay, rehab financing to purchase and to flip residential real estate. You'll need some cash, experience, and average credit for approval. They usually want to see about 650 credit scores. They usually want to see that you've done at least 3 properties somewhat recently, and they're going to want you to put some money into an escrow account to have skin in the game to show that you are serious about what's going on. But you can get rates as low as 8%, 6-month term because it's a fix and flip. You're not buying the property to hold on to it. And you can get 100% of the after repair value. So what does it mean? It means if you buy the property right, then you'll have enough money to do the repairs and to actually buy the property as well. It works kind of like a construction loan does, where they release money in draws as the rehab work is actually done. So you get the money to buy the property, you also get the money to rehab the property. And if you are a real estate investor, which I know a lot of you on here are, then you also will get a lot of a benefit from some other programs we're going to talk about here, including business credit that can really help you with fix and flips as well. Commercial real estate financing loans of 75 grand to 20 million, up to 55% loan to value if you're looking to refinance and pull money out. 20 to 30-year loan terms, 4 to 8% rates, fairly cheap money with a 650 FICO score. And then you can also get SBA loans. We talked about this earlier. SBA's 504 loan is specifically for things like equipment and mostly used for real estate. So you can use this to purchase real estate with average credit. You can also use it to borrow against, to refinance real estate with average credit as well. There's even bridge loans available in the same kind of area. Government grants. Nothing's better than free money. So free money that doesn't need to be paid back. And there's a lot of different kind of government grants that are out there. Look, a lot of people don't even know about government grants. They don't think about it. They don't think about angel investing. So these are kind of hacks almost per se, because you're coming in and getting money from where nobody else is really looking, which means there's more money available for you. Now for urban projects, we'll try HUD, Housing and Urban Development, at HUD.gov to check out all the grants they have available. For rural projects, try USDA, okay, the Department of Agriculture at USDA.gov to tap into some of the grants that they actually have available. You can go to grantwatch.com to access grants as well. And you can also try your city and state websites. And in a lot of cases, if you're starting a business, for example, in a rundown area of your city or a place that they're trying to revitalize or grow, well, they have all kinds of grants and money available just because you're building up a business in an area that they want to build up. So there's all kinds of grants available and that are city and state grants, especially in particular areas where they're really trying to go ahead and get things to grow. So what's better way to get things to grow than give entrepreneurs money to put businesses there, right? If you put a business in that area and you grow it, well, the business needs employees, and that brings more people to actually live in that area. So there's a lot of city and state websites that are available that offer grants as well you should look into. And you really should just do a basic Google search on this. Entrepreneur grants or business grants Tampa, entrepreneur business grants Florida, because there's a lot of grants. There's so many grants available that are statewide, and a basic search of your state or your city and grants will produce some of those options for you. We talked about venture capital a little bit earlier. Venture capitalists give money, but they want a larger piece of the company than angel investors do, if not a controlling stake. So the way that this works is angel investors come in the beginning, when you're in the startup phase, when you're getting the business off the ground, before the business is generating profits and revenue. And then as you start to have something that's actually a solid product, you start to make some sales. Even if you're not profitable, you're starting to generate revenue. That's typically when VC money or venture capital money can come into play. Now, they're typically going to want their money in about 3 to 5 years. So that means you need to have an exit plan. If you're going to do a pitch deck for venture capital or angel investors, you need to let them know what your exit plan is, because that's how they get paid. It's what they most care about. The other cool thing is, if you tap into angel investors, they typically can introduce you to the venture capital source. So if you're starting early in the process with angel investors, then it's not uncommon for them to help put you in touch with venture capital money, because they gain, right? You proved to the angel investor that you've got a successful business model. Now they want to help you take it to the next level, because the more and faster you get to the next level, the more money and faster they get paid. So if you get in with angels, they'll typically get you in with the VC. Okay. And again, you're typically going to find VCs through referrals. So start networking. There's a lot of places out there, but I will tell you that if you're looking for venture capital that oftentimes lends into the millions, you're better to start with angels, because they will introduce you to these venture capitalists. Crowdfunding. So again, there are many platforms like Kickstarter to choose from depending on the project and industry. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different crowdfunding platforms that are out there. And if you do research, you'll see that they kind of break down by category, right? There's crowdfunding platforms that are for musicians. There's crowdfunding platforms that are for artists. There's one like Kickstarter that are just general ones. So you want to kind of figure out, based on your industry and what you're trying to do, the best platform to go with. And you also want to use what's called flex funding. And here's why. They have fixed or flexed funding. Fixed funding means if you don't raise the amount of money you plan to raise, if you say your goal is to raise 10 grand and you only raise $9,900 and you don't meet the goal, then you lose all the money. They give all the money back to the potential donors. But flex funding means that if you don't hit that main goal, you can still collect the $9,900 even though you didn't make the 10 grand, which is a bad example, because if that was a real example, you just put the $100 in to get the 10 grand. But you see what I'm saying? Flex funding gives you the ability to still get the money even if you don't hit the goal, whereas fixed funding doesn't do that. So make sure you find a platform that offers you flex funding to have the best chance of getting the money that you're getting out of the donors. Now, they make their money by taking a percentage. It's about 5%, but it does vary based on the platform you're looking at. You want to consider online bonuses for investing. What does that mean? Any bonus you can give to them, a reward. Okay, they contribute the money, you give them the actual product that you, once it's produced. They contribute the money, you're giving them these other incentives or bonuses. You want to bonus them and give them reasons to put money into the project, and you want to preferably do online versus offline. What do I mean by that? I mean, offline is something you have to physically mail to them. You don't want to do that because offline bonuses have all kinds of potential other government restrictions on them. Online doesn't, and offline is harder to fulfill. You wouldn't want to mail something to every person that contributed money, because if hundreds of people do, that could be a nightmare. So try to think about incentives that you can offer that are online and easy to distribute. Okay, line up big investors before starting. We've all heard these wildly crazy scenarios of these crowdfunding campaigns that just go viral. But what people don't really tell you is that these campaigns didn't just go viral. The whole thing was set up in advance to go viral. They had already lined up all these investors and all this engagement and action. And the minute the project goes live, they go to their already committed investors and have all of them jump in. Why? It's just like Facebook. Facebook, if you own a business, will show your Facebook fans for your business page, only a small percentage of them your content. If your people engage and they like and they comment and they share, Facebook shows it to more and more people because they see that the actual post is popular. It's the same thing with crowdfunding. When they see a project hit the ground running and all these people start investing money, well, then places like Kickstarter say, this is hot, and they start showing it to more people, and that's what causes it to go viral, along with you socially sharing. Crowdfunding campaigns do not go viral on their own. They come down to you having investors lined up before you even start the campaign, and your ability and your network's ability to share that and get it out to as many people as possible. So obviously, cool, really niche kind of products are what work best for crowdfunding because they have virality where they could be shared and then shared again and shared again. And it's that constant hits to that site, it's the contributions, it's all that platforms like Kickstarter pick up. They see it's popular, they promote it to more people, which again creates and continues this virality. Okay, so a micro loans. So these are small loans, $500 to $30,000. Okay, SBA, for example, you can go to sba.gov/funding-programs/loans. You can also go to Microfinance Gateway at microfinancegateway.org. You can go to Calvert Impact Capital at calvertimpactcapital.org, Association for Enterprise Opportunity, or AEOworks.org. These are a handful of sources where you can actually get microloans. Now, as weird as it is, microloans are about one of the only kind of loan products SBA actually lends. Okay, SBA guarantees loans from conventional banks, but doesn't typically offer financing, although they do actually directly offer some micro loans. So micro loans, again, little hidden gem. A lot of people don't know about these. They're not trying to compete for them. And in what we do research wise, we find that, a lot of entrepreneurs are only looking for about $10,000 to $20,000 initially in funding. So it works really well for businesses, especially that are under $1 million or $2 million, where they might only be looking for $25,000, $30,000 in funding. So most credit card companies offer business credit cards as well, right? Chase, American Express. Rates are similar to consumer credit cards. Limits are also similar, kind of. Rates are a little bit higher on business credit cards than they are consumer, and limits are typically a lot higher than what you're going to find with consumer credit cards without a personal guarantee. These ones I'm talking about require a credit check and a guarantee, and rates are a little higher and limits are a little higher as well than consumer credit. Now, a lot of these will report to consumer reporting agencies. You got to be careful about that because, again, you don't ever want to come in and get financing for your business that reports on your consumer credit reports. I have my hand raised because I'm a living example of this. I owned a mortgage company when the whole mortgage industry collapsed. We had business credit cards that reported on our consumer credit report. I had always thought that if things ever went bad, we had a lot of available revolving credit, and we also had good credit, and we also had money in savings. But what happened here was, since then, when we started the mortgage company collapsed, we started to go late on our business credit cards that reported on our consumer credit reports. The minute that happened, every single one of the consumer credit cards that we had immediately dropped our limits to what our balances were. They removed over $100,000 of available credit because they saw that we were going late on accounts. If we would have got credit that reported to the business credit reporting agencies instead of consumer, none of it would have happened. The whole complete collapse, personal finance wise, that I went through never would happen. But then again, I wouldn't be here teaching you how to prevent what happened to me from happening to you. So we'll talk a little bit about business credit, how to avoid that as we get later into this. But I will tell you, you've got to know the difference between if accounts report to consumer or commercial reporting agencies. And just so you know, how you figure this out, you ask them. When I get a credit card offer that I'm interested in applying for, I call, and the first question I ask is, where do you report the credit? Which reporting agencies? And I find out, are they reporting it to consumer reporting agencies or business or both? Companies like Capital One are dangerous because they report to consumer and commercial credit agencies. So you want to stick with ones that only report to business reporting agencies. I'll talk a little bit longer later about how you can access a lot of those in one shot. Approval requirements are also similar to consumer credit card accounts, meaning higher interest with average credit and pretty decent interest if you have good credit, but you pretty much are going to need average 620 plus FICOs to have any shot at these. Okay, and Wells Fargo has a great secured business credit card you can look into. Whoa, one of my favorites, unsecured business financing. With unsecured business financing, you're basically working with a finance source that specializes in unsecured credit lines. So you can get up to 5 to 8 times your current high credit limit and what you'll get on your own, because one inquiry can cost you about 25 grand. Let's talk about this. What happens with UBF is you have a finance source that basically goes out with a power attorney from you, and they get credit cards on your behalf. They know the credit cards that offer the most points, that offer 0% rates. They know the credit cards that report to only the business credit reporting agencies, and they apply for all 5 or 8 at once, so the inquiries won't prohibit you from getting more money. If you try to do the same thing on your own, for example, you go to Bank of America, you get a credit card, maybe it reports to consumer credit, maybe it reports to business credit, you don't know. And then you try to go to Chase and get one, but before, at that point, you put 2 inquiries on the credit report, your chances of getting the 3rd credit card are slim to none, because they see those recent 2 inquiries and they won't approve you, or they approve you for a much lesser amount than what you could get. So these sources specialize ultimately in getting you credit cards, okay, that you can actually qualify for your business. Okay, individual approvals are $2,000 to $50,000, and yes, if you go to our website, you'll see we have multiple approvals for $50,000 on there, and it's perfect for startups. As a matter of fact, I've never seen startups get as much money as they get from this actual program. Okay, now it's 0% financing for 6 to 18 months. You can get approvals of up to 150 grand. We commonly see 50, 100,000 range approvals. You've got to have good credit. It's the only thing you need. You don't need cash flow. It's no doc. You don't need collateral. All you need is good credit, about a 680 FICO score. If you don't have that, use a guarantor. We're back to family member and friends. Remember, 75% of business owners get money from them. Well, it's easier to go to grandpa and have him sign as a guarantor to get you 5 credit lines that you can use at 0% interest and take the cash out on than it is for him to take money out of his savings to give to you. So again, if you're going to use a guarantor, consider using this kind of program instead of asking them for cash. It's easier for you to get the money you need. You need to have utilization under 30%, which means your current balances need to be less than 30% of your limits, and you need to have about 6 inquiries or less in the last 6 months time to be able to get approved. And here's a client that secured $61,400 with that program to fund their business. What's great about this is you don't need collateral. It's no doc. You don't need revenue, so you can get it as a startup. You can use your credit or guarantor's credit. You're building your business credit with it, because all the credit you get reports to the business credit reporting agencies. The interest is 0% for 6 to 18 months. That gives you plenty of time to use the money to grow the business, start generating revenue, or continue to do with it what you were going to do with it if you're an existing business. Okay, and you could take the cash out. These sources that offer this program will, one, they'll even offer you small loans to pay down your credit cards to help you qualify, and then pay them back once they actually get you the funding. The other thing is that, there's a lot of different ways that you can be able to get this, whether it be you or a guarantor. And again, you could take the physical cash out. So this is the only program you'll see that's a hybrid between a credit card and a credit line. With a credit card, you get 0%. You do that with this. With a credit line, you could take money out without paying 20% rates. You can do that with this. Okay, so a really cool way to qualify, especially if you want no doc or startup financing. Unsecured credit cards using business credit. So what's the difference here? What I just talked to you about requires a personal guarantee. It requires good personal credit to actually get approved. What I'm about to teach you now requires none of that. This is real business corporate credit that doesn't require guarantees or good credit to actually get approved. Now, there's 3, maybe you could say 4 types of credit you can qualify for. There's vendor credit. Maybe you came to our live YouTube earlier today where we talked all about vendor credit, where you can get credit to start your business credit profile and score on terms like net 30 or net 55. You can get retail or store credit. This is credit cards with revolving higher limits at most major stores, right? Staples, Office Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's, Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, Amazon. Most retailers offer this kind of credit. The third type of credit is cash and fleet credit. And again, I said this is kind of 4 kinds of credit, because fleet credit is BP, Chevron, Sunoco, Costco. Not Costco, Chevron. It's gas stations. It's WEX fleet cards. It's credit that's used for fuel, for auto vehicle repair and maintenance. Why does that matter? It matters a lot if you're in the transportation industry. If you're a trucker that's spending $700 to $1,000 to fill up your gas tank, this is the big difference in how you do business. If you only have one vehicle, well, it's not bad to have your gas covered, your fuel, your auto repairs, that kind of credit. But especially if you're in transportation, these are extremely valuable. Then there's cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express cards you can use anywhere. So multiple different types of business or corporate credit that you can obtain, and none of them require a personal credit check or guarantee. How? Well, I'm going to try to, if we have time here, even show you how this works. But ultimately, what it comes down to is that you're actually going through a series of steps to be able to set up your business credibly, then be able to come in and start a business credit profile and score, then use the established business credit profile and score to basically get credit. So you're using the business to fund the business, to fund itself. And we'll dive into that with your permission if we have time. Individual limits are about $5,000 to $10,000 on credit cards and can exceed $50,000. We have multiple clients that have $50,000, $100,000, and $200,000 line approvals on individual accounts. So ridiculously high limits, very fast to build, and it's a catch-all. You don't need good credit, you don't need cash flow, and you don't need collateral to be able to qualify. So here's some of these actual approvals, and you can see here's somebody sharing a lot of their approvals here. And again, here's somebody else coming in and sharing. I don't know, I got this one thing, it's like covering everything else on the slide that I can't seem to get fixed. So let me see if I can fix this really quick here, and I will see. Let me see here, and let's go ahead and cut it. All right, there we go. Now we're back. Now it makes sense. Okay, so business credit's the only financial solution, as I mentioned, you can get regardless of cash flow, credit, or collateral. Here's some actual approvals. No PG. This is this person's 10th account, $4,000 Chevron account, Staples credit card, JC Penney. None of this required a personal guarantee or a personal credit check. $10,000 Apple credit card. Got $50,000 in the unsecured business financing here. $6,000 from Amazon. $12,500 from Apple. Here's somebody with $8,500 in second level or second tier credit, an Office Depot approval, another Office Depot approval, an Exxon approval here. Although I can't see the approval amount. $17,000 Amazon line of credit. JC Penney, $2,600 approval, $4,000 approval, $4,000 approval, a bunch of approvals here. Walmart, Amex, Multiply Your Marketplace, Uline, Quill, Seton, $50,000 with Pilot Flying J. Okay, here's somebody with $7,000 approval, somebody that used their business credit to get printer, and on and on and on and on. So these are all real approvals of people getting American Express and Exxon, all without personal guarantees, without personal credit checks, that you can actually see that they're able to come in. There's a $20,000 American Express with no personal guarantee. This is what business credit does. This is what corporate credit basically will do for your business. $50,000 in credit, and so on and so on. Okay, so as you can see, there's no short of approvals here. So a bunch of benefits if you're thinking about business credit. You can get both consumer and commercial credit, so it gives you greater borrowing ability. The limits are really high, as you just saw. You know, oftentimes $5,000 to $50,000 or $100,000 as you start to build business credit. You can get to these limits pretty quick. You can get approved even when you can't get a bank loan, even as a startup. You can access loans and credit lines. So you can, not through business credit, but business credit helps you qualify and get the best rates and terms on the loans and credit lines you do get. It gives you a huge competitive advantage because you can access money in ways that other people can't. You can get business credit as long as you have a business in the United States. You can build business credit for multiple businesses. You can get it as a nonprofit. You don't have to buy bogus trade lines or shelf corporations to get it. Now, if we have time, I'll ask for your permission here in a bit. I'll even do a quick run through to show you the steps to build business credit as well, the same one that our clients are using. And your business credit quality also determines if you'll get approved for loan, how much you'll get approved for, the rates and terms you'll pay. You can even be denied for business credit because you don't have any credit reporting, okay? And that's the thing that you need to know about business credit. If you're interested in getting financing for your business through one of these loans that we've talked about or credit lines, they're looking at your business credit reports and scores, and you could be issued a failing credit score even if you have no credit. So here's an example of somebody that has all zeros because they have no credit, and they're still issued a 28 out of 100 score. It's a failing score. It's high risk. You can see how high of a risk they are. And it's all because they have a lack of trade lines. Now, just so you understand the language here, what financial stability score is from Experian, it depicts one thing and one thing only: your risk of going bankruptcy, your risk of shutting your doors, your risk of ceasing operations. Basically, you're done. And this person's as high of a risk almost as you can get, just because they have absolutely no credit. But even one account reporting on your business credit report, as you see here, can bring you all the way up to a 96 score, like this person has. You can see they're low risk. And here's what's interesting. You can see, just like the last person I showed you, they went from 28 all the way up to the 90s with one account being added. How's that possible? It's simple. Business credit's based on how you pay your bills. As long as you get credit that reports and pay the bill on time, you get a good score. So this person went from having a failing score and no credit to getting one account and paying it as agreed, which took them from as low a risk as you can get as a higher risk as you get. And as you continue to grow business credit and get more accounts at reporting, well, then that helps you get better rates and terms, helps you qualify for higher loan amounts, higher credit limits on credit lines. And then it also helps you to be able to be recommended for a lot more money. So we already looked at these examples: $1,000 recommendation of credit with that person that had no credit reporting, $2,500 recommendation of credit for somebody that has a 96 score with one account reporting. Here's somebody here that has 2 accounts reporting and is being recommended for $7,000. Did you know this? Did you know that Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian say right on their credit reports how much money you should be lent, the credit limits you should be given? So when you want credit cards, when you want loans, when you want credit lines, you need to know that the score depicts your rate. You need to know that the credit limit recommendations are really followed by lenders and credit issuers. So the more credit you get on your business report, the higher the other subsequent and future credit card approval limits will be, the higher the credit line limits will be, the higher the loan limits are, because lenders and credit issuers are seeing these recommendations of credit. Here's somebody being recommended for $15,600 in financing with 3 accounts reporting. Somebody that has $66,000 recommendation with 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with $724,000 in recommended credit because they have 15 accounts reporting. Okay, I just gave you one of the biggest inside secrets that most people don't know. If you build your business credit, the more accounts you get on the report, the more your recommendation of credit increases, especially if you're using that credit. And the better you pay the bills, the better your score is, which determines the rates and terms that you will actually pay. Okay, so again, a lot of every successful business in the United States has this. Facebook has 40 accounts reporting, or 40 trade lines. Dell has 83. Microsoft has 131. Apple has 138. Pilot Flying J has 153. Publix has 171. Okay, here's Walmart with 513. What most people don't know is that 80% of what Walmart buys, they use business credit to buy. It's flipping brilliant. It's why they're the #1 retailer in the world. They buy Bounty paper towels from Bounty using business credit. Then they take your money buying those paper towels and they use it to pay off the credit they used to borrow it. Business credit's the biggest source of capital Walmart has, even more than shareholder value. So when you use business credit the right way, it's astonishing the things you can accomplish. Mars bars, 22 trade lines. But here's where things get interesting. Here's somebody that just started building business credit and they have 8 trade lines. Well, they have a third as many as Mars Bars, the company that makes Mars Bars, does. Here's another company that's less than a year into it and has 14 trade lines. Mars Corporation has 22, and here's a business less than a year into being in existence that has 14, 70% as much as Mars Incorporated. So what you need to know about this is that anybody can build business credit, anybody. And if you follow the right steps, then you build the more trades, the higher the recommendation of credit, the better the scores, the better your ability to get financing. And here's that exact case I just showed you, the 14 trade lines, the samples. And here's a quote from them. We went to our bank to get a business line of credit and they turned us down. We got started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following these steps, we've now secured over 96 grand in business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum Amex and got approval instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited. If you don't have business credit yet, you should get involved with Credit Suite to have the same results we have. That's a long time ago. not a long time, but a couple years ago, which is a long time in my world. Their whole world has changed since. They now have multiple businesses. Thelma actually went out and co-authored a book with Brian Tracy. She's big in the investment space. She's big on building her own personal brand with multiple different products. And how they got started was with a beat up old pickup truck and a flat screen TV. Completely true, awesome success story where they got the money, they started the business, they got ripped off by a fake marketing company. It almost pushed them under. They found business credit. They used business credit to be able to get the money they needed. They did over $1 million the first year in business. Now they're well over that amount. It's really, really, really interesting on what they've done. And I might even send you an interview with them that we did if you're staying to the end, so you can kind of hear a little bit more about their success. And there's cool what I do because I get to be a part of a lot of these success stories. So here's another look at business credit. Here's one of our clients, Christine, and here is a look at her actual approvals so you know what's possible with business credit. 2,000 at Sprint, 4,500 at Amazon, $5,000 at Tractor Supply, $5,000 at Exxon. Okay, Fuel Man Fleet, BJ's. You can see all these approvals all the way up to $200,000 with Pilot Flying J, PNC with $100,000. Almost all of these required no personal credit check and guarantee at all. And this is part of it, of what she's done. She's now up almost, last time I checked with her, over 900,000 in established business credit. Here's a look at some of her actual accounts showing on her business credit reports. Okay, here's a list of the trade lines that she has with one of her multiple businesses, a little bit about Christine. You can start to see all these accounts and these limits on her credit reports. You can see here's 80,000 on one of those accounts that she has. And here are some actual approvals. There's a 10,000 approval. There's some of her actual physical cards. She actually got approved for 50,000 and they made a mistake the other day and it ended up being 100,000 she got approved for. So pretty cool. What's possible with business credit? Here's a 10,000 approval, a 12,000 approval. Here's a $50,000 approval, another 24,000 approval, 10,000 with Bank of America. Here's a Citi for 15,000, 22,000 with Chase, 10,000 with Chase, 8,000 Inc card, 50,000 Amex card. Okay, and here's another one of our clients, Marlon. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business after failing to get approved for loans with several banks. I discovered Credit Suite after getting initial vendor credit. I continued applying and getting all types of credit. Now have over $100,000 or 100 business credit cards in my wallets, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuel. I have cash credit cards with most major banks, including BOA and Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this without a personal credit check and guarantee, and I've been able to get loans with many sources since, including PayPal and Cabbage, and loans over 100,000. Marlon, another huge success story. Somebody that now goes around the country and speaks about his success and helps other entrepreneurs establish business credit as well. This is an interview I did with him the other day as an update. I took that screenshot from the video where he's actually showing the stacks of credit cards that he has. So I still have some time here, and with your permission, I'd like to show you an easy way to get business credit and financing all in one place. But what I'd really like to do is I have some time, and I will be straight. If you say yes to this, there's a possibility I may go 5 to 10 minutes over the 90 minutes that I told you that this would be. But if you'd like, I can show you exactly how to build business credit. I'll show you what Marlon did, what Christine did, what the samples did. If this makes sense, type in the word yes into chat. I want to be aware of your time. So we've got time to do it if you are okay with it. Okay, so I've got a lot of yeses pouring in. Okay, so we've got some time. So let me kind of walk in and show you the system they use to get credit and financing. And then also show you a little bit about the steps of building business credit. So what I'm showing you right now is a system called the Business Finance Suite. It's the same thing Marlon and the samples and Christine and all of them use to get their success. And basically, this is just one system that can be used to build both corporate credit, business credit, and to also obtain all different kinds of loans. So to build business credit, I don't have a bunch of time, but let's kind of walk through the steps of doing this. So the Finance Suite basically just decodes this difficult process that the biggest companies in this country are using to build business credit and makes it where anybody can do it, even as a startup. And we break it down into 7 fairly simple steps, considering 4 of the 7 have to do with actually getting credit cards. So business credit starts by building your business credit bill. Credibility. Now, I shouldn't say business credit starts. I should say all kinds of financing and credit start here. In order for you to have any chance of getting a loan or credit line or business credit cards, you've got to make sure your business is set up credibly. So for example, the business name, the reason the samples in their testimonial, the reason that they got turned down was because the name they put on the application with the bank didn't match what they had with the Secretary of State. Such a simple mistake. But when we fixed that mistake, they went in and did get approved at that bank that denied them. Fixed one thing and they got approved with that bank. So making sure that you set up your business name credibly is very important. Making sure that you're not in a high risk industry is very important. So for example, the finance suite's just really easy to use because you're able to come in here and you can say, do you have a business name? If you do, you click yes and you move on. Enter it, move on. If you say no, well, then we give you access to the Secretary of State records to be able to set up a business in your Secretary of State without paying companies to do it. You can view restricted industries that are completely prohibited or that don't meet the requirements that must be met to be able to actually get approved. So just the business name you choose can prevent you from getting approved. You can watch videos on setting up your credibility and also making sure that you set up your business correct. You can come in and even choose between English and Spanish here, and you can even come in and make it where you can change the entire system you see here in Spanish as well. So everything switches to Spanish and English. You even get text overlays here in Spanish on the videos if you like. So you got to set up that business name credibly. You've also got to come in and make sure that you get the right kind of business address. You don't ever want to use a PO box address. You don't ever want to use a UPS address. Those will get you denied. And now even some virtual office addresses can get you denied. So here we're giving you access to resources that can help you set up virtual addresses. If you need that, you click on resources, you can access them. And again, we help make sure that with training that you know that you need to set up your business address the right way, or even the way you set that up can actually prevent you from getting approved for financing as well. Okay, business entity, you got to set up your entity, but you want to choose an LLC or a corporation because a sole proprietor or a partnership, you'll always be liable for what happens in the business. You need to get a toll-free number, get a fax number, get a business phone number, and you need to make sure that that number is listed with 411. Okay, you can't just go to 411 and list your number, which is why lenders and credit issuers require that. Through our finance suite, if you want it listed with 411, you could simply click yes and do it. We use a service called List Yourself for this. It costs us $30 a month. It's $30 a month per customer. About $300 a year, $360 a year to do it, to keep your number with 411, but it goes a long way towards the value of what that does to lenders and credit issuers' perception of your business. And I'll talk to you later about how you can get that without having to pay for it on your own. Set up your business licenses. Make sure you have a business bank account. A lot of sources will ask for a business bank reference, so you need to do it. You need to get your EIN set up. So you need to follow these steps to make sure that you have set up your business credibly. It's the very first step. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go and do a check with the reporting agencies. I showed you earlier that if you have no credit, you can still be issued a failing score with Experian. Does Experian, Equifax, or Dun & Bradstreet know you exist now? Yes or no? Well, by clicking no and doing a simple search, you can come in to see if your business is actually set up credibly just by entering your business name, the state that you're in, and that alone, you will tell you if you have trade lines, don't have trade lines, or if they know you exist. So you can see right here, not the prices, right above it tells me what I need to know. They know I exist, and they also know we have trade lines reporting. So if you didn't see any result, you're fine. If you see a result with no trade lines, that can really mean that you have a failing score. And if you have trade lines, you probably want to see what's on your business credit report. You also need to make sure that you get set up with Dun & Bradstreet and Equifax and do the same search. So Dun & Bradstreet, you want to get your DUNS number. Now they'll charge you $1,500 to $2,000 to try to do this when they call you. And again, I know a lot of you guys are going to have questions. I will promise you I will get to the questions as soon as we get wrapped up. And right here, you can click and say you want your DUNS number, and in one click, we help you get your DUNS number without paying the $1,500 to $2,000 that you'd pay D&B. We even teach you how items report on your business credit reports. Why? Because it's very different than consumer credit. So for example, credit issuers' names don't even report on business credit reports, okay? They don't even report at all. What reports is categories. There's multiple scores on business credit reports. So we're teaching you exactly how to navigate those. Once you've done so, we talked about vendor credit. It's time to start getting approved with vendor credit. Okay, and you can use sources, and we have all kinds of sources here to get t-shirts and voice services and phone services and secure credit cards and unsecured credit cards, accepting financing from your actual customers. All these things, you could build business credit and do them as well. So as you see, if we click at Quill and we see, okay, here's everything you need to know about Quill. Here's what they do, what they sell. Here's what they actually requires to qualify. Here's who they report to, what you need to do to get reported, and here's a button to apply. Why does this matter? Look, almost everybody who tries to build business credit on their own fails, and here's why. You need a certain amount of trade lines to get approved for every individual source. If you don't know the number of trade lines you need, then all you do is keep applying and getting denied, apply, denied, apply, denied, apply, approved. Then you got to go back to ones you got denied with and try to apply. It takes people years to do this. The finance suite's designed to basically condense that into only months, because we're doing about 4 or 5 important things for you. One, we're telling you whether you qualify or not. This would be grayed out if you didn't qualify. 2, we actually work with underwriters to disclose what you're never going to know on your own, exactly the underwriting qualifications to get approved. 2, the next thing that we do is we list here on the right-hand side in order all the credit tiers to apply for. 3 and 4, we tell you how many accounts you need in each round so you know you can move to the next round. Now, many of the sources that we have here are ones we created. We helped them get the ability to report to the reporting agencies, so there's nowhere out on the web that you're going to find them, because the problem is nobody even knows they report, because we helped them report. So others like Uline and Quill are great to get office supplies and all kinds of things you need to build your business credit. Now, when you get a handful of these accounts reporting and they can all ease your cash flow, next thing you need to start monitoring your business credit reports. Okay, and if you're going to monitor your business credit reports, it's about $200 to $210 a month, depending on what Dun & Bradstreet actually wants to charge. So if we go here and look at D&B's Credit Builder, what do they charge you today? $149 or $159? They are $149 a month for Credit Builder. If you go to Experian and get monitoring with Experian, Experian charges about $49 a month for your full report. So if you go to Experian, they're going to charge you about $50 a month right here for what you need to look at your actual report. So it's about $210 a month. Now, the cool thing is the Finance Suite has this thing right here called Report Dashboard. And if you use that, you can actually access through our nav integration your Dun & Bradstreet and Experian credit report for only $24. And I'm going to talk to you here in a little bit about how to actually get 3 months of monitoring without actually paying them anything to do so. So it's only $24, and you can see you get your D&B score, your business information summary, lawsuit data. You can come in and look at public filings or public records. You can come in and look at all the accounts you have. It's your full credit reports with Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. But instead of spending $200 a month for this, it's only $24. It saves you 90%, which is pretty cool. Because if you're ever going to think about building business credit, you have to have credit monitoring. Because remember, as we talked about, these tiers of credit have certain amount of accounts you have to have reporting to actually get approved. And then again, we also teach you how to read every one of these reports, because there's a lot of things on them that you probably need to actually see and need to know how these reports work. And you can even in one click fix inaccuracies too. You have negative items on your credit report that aren't inaccurate. Well, you can come through a D&B, Equifax, and Experian, and you can fix those as well. Now that you've got these initial accounts in round 1 reporting, now it's time to have some fun. Now you start getting into revolving credit at places like, well, I don't know, everywhere. Ryder, Wawa, you get gas cards, you can get, some of these will be relative to you, some won't be. Okay, so here's ones that are grayed out that you may not qualify for to make it easy easy to know what you can get approved for to condense years of this process into months. There's Meyer, Valvoline, Amazon, Staples, Lowe's, Macy's, AutoZone, Budget. I mean, almost any kind of retailer you have worked with before, you're able to access here without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, and be able to get the kind of results that Marlin and Thelma and these other people are getting if you're applying to get the credit. Royal Farms, Office Depot. Now keep in mind that they show exactly the terms, they show who they report to, etc. Why does this matter? Very, very big deal. These are actually not trade lines. These are what you call payment experiences. A payment experience is the reporting of an account to a reporting agency. So if you know that Office Depot reports to Experian and D&B, that's 2 payment experiences, not 1, which means you grow your business credit even faster. Instead of now needing 10 accounts, you only need 5 accounts that report to 2 reporting agencies. So it helps you take a long process here and condense it by knowing all this information. And again, you know exactly what it takes to get approved without the personal guarantee and credit check. We even give you the secret hush hush backlink to actually get with the credit issuers to apply. And as you've seen from Sears to Amazon and everywhere else along the way, I mean, just about every kind of credit you could ever possibly think of wanting is available here. Credit we've seen with Walmart and Dell. Here's car financing without a personal guarantee credit check. Here's MasterCards and Visa cards you can get, fleet credit you can get without a personal guarantee and personal credit check. All the information we put in here is up to date. We have a data team that checks it regularly, Amex, PNC Bank. Okay, so these are cash credit cards, auto vehicle financing. You can get cell phones, almost everything you can get regarding business credit. The other cool thing here is that beyond just being able to build your business credit, you're also able to come in and get all the types of financing we talked about here, excluding some. We don't yet work with crowdfunding, angel investing, venture capital, but all the loan programs and the credit line programs we talked about, including the SBA, we can help you with. So you can actually access all types of financing and credit. With business credit, you're building business credit with your own advisor team that helps you through the process. No, it is not customer support. Yes, you can call them, you can chat with them, you can email them, but we'll call you first 5 times in the first 5 days. We'll work with you to help you through the exact process of building business credit. And on the financing side, you get a finance team that helps you through every aspect of getting financing. You never need to look for money again, ever. We work with every legitimate type of funding program. We have over 1,000 lenders. So then that way we can get all the money that you can qualify for in one place. Your finance officer helps you through the entire process. We never even charge you any points or any money on the funding. The lenders will, of course, but we negotiate that to even get you the best terms. So you have access to all financing in one place as well as business credit. And you also have some really other cool things as well, like business valuation, where you can actually come in and see the ongoing value of your business anytime you want to. You type in some financial data and it tells you exactly what your business is worth. And you'll see here as we make changes here that you can see, let me see here, 242, enter some numbers. You can see that the value changes. So you can keep an eye on the valuation of your business at any time. And if you're interested, you can even offer business credit and financing as a service as well. You can come in and get commissions on funding, and you can come in and add clients to sell them the system. You can come in and get sales reps and track your commissions. You get partner training on exactly what you need to know to offer business credit and financing as a service if you want to. You might not want to. But if you do want to, it's a whole system where you can create an income stream offering business credit and financing. And as you can see, we provide step-by-step training. It teaches you everything you need to know to build business credit on top of accessing more resources than you could ever possibly in your life know what to do with. We do weekly training webinars once a week. It's only for our partners. So today we had a marketing expert decode the whole process of getting leads and sales funnels. All that's available. You can access ebooks and emails and articles and flyers and social media posts and press releases, done for you seminars. We have presentation materials for you to be able to easily present with videos we've already created. And all the stuff is professionally done. So for example, if you're grabbing an ebook, you can come in and put your own information, completely customize this, and you can see this would cost considerable money if you were ever going to put together all these guides and all this information on your own. and it's all comes with the finance suite. If again you have an interest in offering business credit financing as a service, you may not have that interest, but if you do, then everything you would need to successfully offer business credit financing as a service, you actually can access. So here's, for example, emails, and you can see all the emails, building business credit, and here's one on what you should know but probably don't about business credit. Here's one on that unsecured business financing program we talked about. This page is 69 pages just to this one document, and that's one of literally hundreds of resources that's available for you to be able to build business credit. So a lot of pretty cool stuff there. So look, you're on this webinar on your computer, phone, or tablet because you want the easiest, fastest way to get money and credit to grow the business. I mean, more than likely, you wouldn't be here if you didn't. Okay, and you probably have already struggled to get the money you need. You probably have yet to find one solution that can get you all money in one place. And so, look, you've learned a lot through this webinar. I don't know if you want to take a next step or not. If not, you got a ton of good information about what's available to you. But if you're looking to be able to access the most amount of capital and credit in one place, well, then what we have with our finance suite might be perfect for you, because you can get business credit that's not linked to your social security number through the top selling business credit system. We've helped over 15,000 people do this. And by the way, we don't have one complaint ever. Our BBB is perfect. We've never had a complaint, A+. We never had a complaint anywhere online. We had some crazy dude complained. He was never even a customer because he wanted to give us a testimonial and give us the services for free, and we won't pay for testimonials. He didn't like that very much. But you know how hard it is to help 15,000 people and not have a complaint? It's not hard as long as you do exactly what you're talking about. That's why it's a top system, because it works so well. You get access to funding for your business to start and grow. You could get the finance suite in English or Spanish. Okay, we're helping you come through and meet credibility requirements before you apply. Set up your business name correctly, avoiding high-risk industries, getting your business entity set up, your EIN, setting up your business address, your phone number, listing it with 411 for you, saving you $360. You're setting up, we can help you set up your website and email address. We didn't even cover that. That has to meet certain lending and credibility requirements. We help you with all of that. Check your licensing and online listings for compliance. We set up your bank account, merchant account. Understand that 89% of conventional bank applications are denied, and here's what's absolutely insane. They're almost all denied for simple things the business owner could have fixed before if they would have known that those things were incorrect or wrong. Our COO, Megan, and one of my closest friends, my business partner, she was one of the biggest business bankers at Wells Fargo and left because she was so frustrated by this. People would be denied, and the bankers weren't allowed to work with people to tell them why they were getting denied and help them get approved. We think it's insane. So we created a system that helps you through the process of understanding what lenders and credit issuers are looking for, because I don't know. We consider it to be common sense that if you know what the requirements are, you can meet the requirements before you apply. It saves you time, energy, and money, and gets you to only applying for things you know you can get approved for. Okay, you're getting set up with all 3 business credit reporting agencies. You don't have to pay Dun & Bradstreet $1,500 or $2,000 just to get set up with them and get the DUNS number. We help you get it for free. We help you activate your credit profile with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. Fix inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies. You have that largest supply of starter vendors. You saw them. You can get t-shirts or phone services all the way to office supplies and printers using the vendors, many of which we helped get the ability to report, so you're not going to find them anywhere else. The huge selection of retail store credit, we took a look at all those sources as well. Visa cards, MasterCards, Amex, we looked at over 100 real approvals today and proof that all these different ways that this works. Fleet credit approval, auto vehicle financing, all without a personal guarantee, all without a personal credit check at all. You're getting cash flow financing with no consumer credit requirements that we talked about. The low interest asset-based financing becomes accessible. You get the 0% unsecured program. Now, again, all of this money you have to qualify for. But we help you with this, and we've got programs like business credit that you easily qualify for right now. We call this graduation. We help you get the money you can get now. We help you then build the business to qualify and graduate to the next level, which is lines of credit and term loans, or maybe you can qualify for those right away. Then we get you the final graduation stage, which are SBA loans. We help you build the business and understand what it takes to get to the levels to graduate from one level to the next. Again, you're getting, and then if you are interested in coming in and actually getting in on our partner program, well, we're giving giving you everything you need to succeed to offer business credit financing: the training, contracts, sales scripts, seminars, your own website. Okay, 3-page press release, 15 PowerPoints, 10 ebooks, 12 months worth of emails, social media, 15 videos for marketing. I'm going to show you how to get 17 extra ones here in a minute. 10 different webinars. You can go to universityofbusinesscredit.com and you can actually see the website you get. Completely customizable. WordPress has information about business loans and business credit, has information about credibility with testimonials that are actual video testimonials, case studies, everything you need to actually be successful offering business credit financing if you want to. I'm going to give you an option here in a minute to do it with offering business credit financing as a service or not. Okay. And you're also able to come in and get articles and everything in Spanish. I didn't even mention that. You get all those marketing materials in Spanish as well as English, finance training on the programs and videos and flyers to market that, and what you need to be able to train a sales team and get flyers and have us help close deals for you and monitor clients and submit customers for funding and get paid 50% of what we get paid without even having to do any work. You're just submitting the customer and we're doing it all for you. So like I said, look, you're leaving this webinar with a bunch of good actionable info. And if you want the shortcut, the years of business credit building to only months and all the financing options in one place, and business advisors that hold your hand and help you build business credit, and finance officers that help you with all aspect of getting financing, if this is something you're interested in, then since you hung with me for 90 minutes, then I want to at least make sure that I extend to you something pretty cool and special. So if you are getting started today, you'll find on our website that our highest plan with payments is over $7,000. But if it's something that you're interested in getting started for, only as part of this webinar and only through Friday, you've got a couple different options. Option one, get business credit loans with our core program. You're not a partner. You're not interested in reselling it. With that, you can get started with 7 payments of $497 or 1 payment of $24.97. Or option two, you offer business credit and financing as a program and you get it for your business. 7 payments of $597 or 1 payment of only $34.97. Too rich for your blood? No worries. Communicate with us. I will give you our information. And if you tell us that, hey, I want to do this, I can't afford this, here's what I can do, we will work with you. We will customize payment plans. Never not get in touch with us or work with us because you might not be able to afford what you see here. We will work with you. Okay, now it's typically going to take you 18 to 24 months or more to do this on your own with business credit building, and what we can do in 6 months. So what can you do with all that extra money in 2 years sooner, right? It saves you a bunch of time. And the reality is it saves you money as well. With credit monitoring alone, we save you $2,200 a year because we're getting it for $24. You're going to spend $200. You don't pay the DUNS for DUNS, $1,500, $2,000 you save. You don't have to pay $360 a year for 411. We handle that. A business valuations can cost $500 to $2,000. You get that as well. So if you look at it, it's even cheaper to work with us to build business credit than to be able to get it on your own. Now, keep in mind, we will customize a payment plan for you. Don't reach out and communicate with us because of an affordability issue. We work with services like Fundbox Pay. They will basically finance it for you with pretty cheap payments. We even can help you get money to be even used to and pay for your enrollment. So again, there's multiple ways we could help you on the finance side. The question right now is, does this make sense? Is this something interested for you or not? And we're giving you everything if you're making payments, even if you only make the first payment. You get our advisors. You're getting 5 calls in the first 5 days. You're getting all the access to the finance suite, which is completely mobile friendly. We're just that sure that you're going to love it. So look, let's look and see how easy this is to actually get started. Okay, when you come in, all you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/webinar. Right now, let me find if I even have that, and you'll see the actual special right here. You basically just come down, okay, you find the plan that works best for you. Core is just business credit and financing. VIP, you can offer it as a product and service. Ultimate, well, that's our big main program where we set up all of your VIP resources for you. We're giving you $500 off and a bunch of cool bonuses, which I'll talk to you about right now. Now, once you complete the order form, you immediately get your login credentials. And I also want to make sure that you get some really cool bonuses, of which I've never offered some of these before. 30-minute initial consult call with our advising team. Usually the biggest amount of time you need is in the beginning. So we'll spend 30, even 60 minutes with you on your initial phone call. You're getting a ready to publish book. You saw my books that are published on Amazon I told you about in the beginning. Yeah, you're getting that. You're getting my book that you can republish in branding rights in your name, so you become a published author overnight. No matter what you do and what industry you're in, by becoming a published author, you immediately have the ability to come in and be able to look more credible. So you're getting that as well. We're getting you 90 days of free credit monitoring through our NAV integration. That saves you 600 to 630 bucks, because they charge you, again, today it's 200 bucks. Sometimes DMB charges 159 instead of 149. So it saves you over 600 bucks, 90 days without paying for any credit monitoring, just for getting enrolled. And hey, what? If you cancel, you can still keep the 90 days worth of free credit monitoring, so you can't lose. 4, credit monitoring with DMB and Experian for only 24 bucks a month after that. It's not available for all of our clients. We're making it available. You're getting a free business valuation. You saw how you can check your business value on the fly anytime you want. This is an actual 28-page detailed report of what your business is worth that you can do now or anytime in the future. Even tells you where you match up against competitors and what you need to do to be worth more. And 17 unreleased partner marketing resources, PowerPoints, videos that nobody else even has, because they're actually from my recent few months worth of webinars that I've done, that you're getting as completely white label in your name, that you can actually use to market business credit financing if you want to market business credit financing. And we give you an unconditional guarantee. Look, if you don't think it's worth every penny of what you paid, or with our partner program that you'll be able to make the money back, then cancel anytime, 30 days, 100% of your money back. How do you know we honor that? Look at our reviews. Look at our reviews. Go to creditsuite.com and just go to look at credibility. We give you our BBB. We give you So Tell Us. We give you Trustpilot. We give you all of these reviews so you'll know we're legitimate. How do we get 15,000 people helped and have absolutely no complaints whatsoever? It's pretty simple. For one, we do exactly what I'm telling you we do. And 2, if you want out, you're out. We don't want you to stay here if you're not committed to building business credit. So if you come here to credibility, you'll see that here's our Trustpilot reviews. You can see they're all recent, not all of them. They go back in time, right? 6 days ago. Okay, this is June. You can see people are leaving actual comments. Trustpilot does not, here you go. There's a bad guy. This guy does not like us very much. Okay, so you can even come in and see the good, the bad, the ugly. You can come in and see anything that's on here. You're able to easily come in and access by looking at our Trustpilot reviews. We don't hide anything, guys. Okay, you can come in and look at our BBB rating. You'll see we've never had any kind of complaints. We have 0 complaints online. We do not paying to be accredited, and we still have an A+ credit rating with the BBB. You can look at So Tell Us reviews and see detailed reviews of the experiences people have. And again, you can see the recency. Okay, these aren't just people that are just leaving reviews. They're coming in and leaving them on Google. They're leaving them on Facebook. They're telling real stories about the experiences that they've actually had. You're able to come in and see actual video testimonials, and we don't have just a few. They're all video. You can click any of them to see the actual videos from these people, and you can see how many of these people we have. So again, I think our credibility speaks for itself, and that's how you know. And you can even look at our in the press, and you can come in and look at case studies and see how much we are featured in all of these different places. We even have full spreads in magazines, and it goes on and on and on, so you can get an idea of the credibility that we actually have. So if it's not happy, we give you 100% of your money back. So to recap, you're getting your own finance suite with 24/7 access. Okay, you're getting concierge advisor, business credit building support. You're getting the free DUNS number, the free Experian Smart Business, which we never even talked about. That's what gives you those snapshots of what's on your Experian report. The largest supply of business vendor accounts, the massive supply of revolving accounts. You're getting up to 150,000 in unsecured financing, finance officer support, free 411 listing without paying the 360 bucks. Visa card, the MasterCard, the American Express. We're helping you fix inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies, getting fleet credit, getting auto vehicle financing. You're getting credit monitoring for only 24 bucks a month. It's worth 2,500 bucks is what it costs normally. So you save $2,200 a year. Think about that. It's like you're getting a $500 discount just to enroll. And by the way, I don't even think I even well, actually, I did show you that. You're getting a $500. It's only $2,500 to enroll. You're saving $2,200 a year on credit monitoring alone. You're getting access to the cash flow, the collateral financing. And then with our partner program, you're basically getting every resource imaginable, from emails to social media to videos to sales scripts to ebooks, to help you become successful with offering business credit and financing as well. And you're getting the 6 bonuses: 30-minute initial phone consult call, the ready to publish book to be a published author overnight worth $700, 90 days of free credit monitoring. You don't have to pay for credit monitoring. Even if you don't like it in 30 days, you still get the credit monitoring, which saves you $600. You're getting credit monitoring with DMB and Experian through our NAV integration for only $24 after, which saves you $2,200 a year. The free business valuation, which saves you almost $1,000, and 17 unreleased partner resources if you're interested in offering it. And again, if you don't think that what we have is worth every penny of what you pay, then we give you your money back. We don't ask questions. You say, look, this isn't for me. We say goodbye. We give you your money back. Why? Because this is a process. I'm not going to try to tell you it's not a process. If you follow our process, you'll start to get 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 limit credit cards without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. You'll get immediate approvals with vendor accounts. You'll store credit in about 60 days, Visa, MasterCard credit about 2 months after that. But again, if you're not willing to commit to the process, then it's not a good fit for you or us. We only want people here that are serious. So if you get involved and say it's not for me, then we give you your money back and we part way as friends. Okay, so does that make sense? Is this all something that you think makes sense? If so, well, then go to creditsuite.com/webinar. And at creditsuite.com/webinar, you're able to come in and actually check out the pricing options, which again, I've already walked through. I'm trying to figure out which this is. You're able to choose between the core VIP. I even added the ultimate. You can see the bonuses. You can see the discounts. So you're saving even 20% with some of these programs. And we don't typically discount. You know why we don't discount? Because nobody has what we have, right? It's like there's nothing else that exists like what we have. So it's a one-of-a-kind thing. So we just don't typically discount it. But again, as part of this webinar, since you hung with me for 90 minutes, you are going to be able to get a discount on this page, and you're going to be able to get as well 6 of these bonuses, several of which I've never actually given away before at all. So that being said, if you have any questions, I don't know what just happened there. Let me see if I can go back. There we go. Give me a second here. Let's go to swap and let's see if I can. I will get you access. I'm going to stay around and answer questions as well. Let me get you our phone number here if you have any questions. Look, I would not expect at all that you would enroll just because you saw this. Reach out to us, talk to us. 877-600-24. Want to make sure every question you have is answered. So our team will gladly talk to you more about any other questions you have, and any other inquiries that you have. But for now, let me hang out. Let me see what you guys have regarding questions. Okay, and I want to make sure that these are actually answered. So Angel, Ty, when I go to fill out the cards, they always ask for an SSN and won't let me apply without. It's because typically you need to apply through fax or phone if they require the social security number online. And you should also know, Angel, that there is a new requirement in May that banks required to get your social and date of birth to prove your identity. So you just need to make sure that you're talking to them and telling them that they don't have the authority to pull your personal credit, and you're not providing a personal guarantee if you do provide your social. But the key to not providing the social really does come down to you actually being able to do it most of the time through fax or through phone call online in their systems. Typically, it's not that easy. Some sources like Amazon will let you do it, and some sources won't. Okay, and somebody says, I need low interest rate, less than 6% loans with long-term payoff terms to buy investment turnkey rental properties to create my own source of income and thus the source of payoff for loans. I've not worked for anyone for 8 years. I have assets but no income. Well, okay, so far I'll tell you that less than 6% is possible with assets. We talked about a lot of different kind of collateral-based financing, and again, I don't know why I'm getting Facebook notifications, but you can give us a call or send us an email, and we can talk through your individual scenario to see if it will work. If you don't have income but you have assets, it's still possible to be able to use the assets to be able to get you low interest rate financing. So yes, there's a lot of those that can actually work for you. We have the house reseller program for flipping. Business credit is used for fix and flip as well, because you're getting Home Depot and Lowe's, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of those type of programs. Unsecured business financing is no doc, so you don't need to have income verification to qualify for that. So unsecured business financing, any of those collateral asset-based programs like stocks, 401ks, IRA type financing, business credit, house reseller program, all those are potential options. Give us a call. We'll talk to you about the funding that you can qualify for and do a better one-on-one scenario to see what you can actually qualify for. Yes, we will email you the replay. How soon? Probably tomorrow afternoon. This will have to buffer or do whatever like GoToWebinar does. And so that will take through the evening, and not through the whole evening, but by tomorrow sometime we'll have it available. So we will email it to you since you stayed to the end. Can you build up enough credit to buy real estate? Yeah, as a matter of fact, real estate investors are the second most popular industry that we attract because real estate investing is so high risk, and we have unsecured business financing and all those asset-based programs, and we have house reseller program, and we have a lot of our clients that use business credit, Visa card, MasterCard, et cetera, to buy homes, and then use the Home Depot, the Lowe's, the kind of retail store credit to be able to actually fix up the actual house. How can I obtain a copy of the slides? All that stuff will be emailed to you. And I talked about that as well, and a lot of people have the same question. What's the idea profile for business for the partner program? My company's just under 3 years old. Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, for our partner program, the question is pretty simple. Do you know anybody that's interested in getting money around you? If you know other entrepreneurs that are interested in getting business credit financing, the partner program becomes an absolute complete no-brainer. And the reason for that is that it's only $1,000 more. And the way that it works is that you ultimately are selling what I just showed you, the finance suite, in your name. It doesn't have the partner sections. It just has the business credit and the financing. And on average, our partners are selling it for $2,500 to $3,500. So if you sell at one time, you literally covered your own enrollment. Now you pay $700 wholesale and you price it whatever you want. So you're typically, pricing it at $2,500, $3,500 is what you're selling the finance suite for. And then from there, you're paying $700 wholesale. So that means you got profit margins of about $1,800, $2,500. So one or two sales pays for your enrollment. The question is do you know other people that are interested in getting business credit financing? If you do, then the partner program really does become a no-brainer, because again, you can come in and help them get financing and ultimately pay for your own enrollment as well. And you're getting everything you need here with basic training, the information to train your sales reps, all those type of things as well. After purchasing your package, is there any more money that comes out of pocket to achieve the goal of building credit? No and yes. Not to us is the short answer. Of course, setting up a business has expenses, right? So I don't think that that's what you're saying. But if you think about it, if you're going in to set up your business credibly, obviously, right, there's a cost to get a website. There's a cost to set up an email address. There's a cost to set up a phone line and to get a virtual address if you want. So we estimate that setting up a business from scratch can be, depending on the state you're in, oftentimes the expenses to set up a business in general are like $500. But the answer is no, you don't pay us any extra money. You just have normal things that you're using credit to buy and setting up your business, etc. Now, as a partner, you have some options. If you are a partner and you came in with our ultimate program that comes with the CRM is Active Campaign, and they charge $99 a month. You pay $99 a month for Active Campaign. The money's not our money. It goes to pay for your CRM. And if you're VIP or ultimate, if you're a partner, you have a choice of paying $99 a month for an executive program. And that's what gets you ability to train your sales reps and get you all the extra resources. Like every time I do a webinar, it gets converted into a video and a PowerPoint. You get all those, and you get the ability to make money on funding and all those type of things. But that's a voluntary program, whether you want to do it or not. And then, of course, for every client you're adding when you sell business credit, that's $700 per suite, or You can buy bulk enrollments of enrollments. So a lot of our partners obviously do a bunch of volume. And then with that, you can even get 5, 10, 15 enrollments. So you can get your cost down to about $500 per enrollment. But if you're just building business credit with our core program, then no, there's absolutely no other charges beyond obviously normal charges for your business. And of course, you got to pay lenders interest rates and fees. We negotiate that down for you, but we don't charge that. They do. So hopefully that answers your question. Ty, can you or your company take a look at my situation? Yeah, absolutely. Angel, just give us a ring. If you've already completed some of the steps, we might be able to just give you some general advice, or we may be able to give you some kind of discount depending on how many trade lines you have now. That's what it comes down to. You know, a lot of people say, well, I want a discount. I've already done part of this. What have you done? I've got my DUNS number. Well, that's easy. That's not even like 2% of the process. So it depends on how many trades you have. Just give us a call or send us an email, and we will help you. If I have my DMB number, business address, and entity, and most of what you're helping get because I'm established, what do we start with Credit Suite? Again, you know, setting up the business is like 5% of the process. 95% of the process is getting trade lines. So how far you are in the quote unquote process really is based on how many accounts do you have reporting the Dun & Bradstreet Equifax Experian. And in that individual case, Deborah, just give us a ring, send us an email. If you are further along in that process and you need less help with us, then again, we'll work with you with a customized plan because you don't need our full services. How do I get a HELOC on my house that has 70% equity, but my personal credit's not good? I can tell you that you're asking the wrong person. I used to own a mortgage company back in the day. I haven't done that for a long time. So the answer is I don't know. But I will tell you from my experience that the answer is you can't. To get HELOCs are typically coming from conventional banks only, and those are going to require good credit to get them. I know of no other way to be able to get a line of credit against the house unless you have good credit. There may be other ways. You just need to talk to a mortgage broker versus me. I'm just not your guy for that. I'm in need of a line of credit now. Is it possible? Sure. Again, it depends on one of three things: what's your cash flow, what's your credit, what's your collateral. If you have cash flow, credit, or collateral, it's very possible. We have access to a lot of credit lines, some that don't have credit checks, some that you can even have bad credit to qualify. Some will use assets and collateral and use those as leverage for you to get approved. But again, Deborah, just give us a call, send us an email. Our team is ridiculously awesome, and they will talk to you about what your scenario is, and within minutes be able to give you an idea of what you can actually qualify for. I heard that you can upload financials to DMB or Experian, and that can help get larger line of credit or credit cards. Victor, somewhat accurate. DMB has a credit score called the DMB rating. The DMB rating is based on the financial worth of your business. And it has to do with basically what kind of revenues you have. So you can choose whether you give the financial data to DMB or not. If you give them the financial data and it's good, then you'll have a higher DMB rating, which will help you get loans and credit lines. So yeah, that is somewhat accurate, and that's something our team can help you with as well. I have an account with Ascion. I recently went from personal account to business account. I did a collateral loan as personal, and I just left it when I switched to business. Long story short, I just checked my business credit a few days ago, and it shows I have a UCC filing from them. Why would it show that? It shows it derogatory, but where it shows current, it shows that I'm current. Well, first of all, a UCC filing isn't bad. A UCC filing is just a way to tell other lenders that you have an outstanding loan. It's never seen as a bad thing. So you're also saying here that it's a bad report. So is it really reporting negative or not? If it was reporting negative, it would report that you were X amount of days beyond terms at some point in the past. So hopefully that answers that question. How you fix it, you go directly to the reporting agency that's reporting the negative information. DMB has a service called iUpdate you can do it with. Equifax and Experian, you do it through their credit monitoring platform. And of course, if you're using our finance suite, you can do it right through there, and our advisors help you through that process as well. Is the executive program part of the ultimate partner package? No, it's not part of any package. It's completely voluntary whether you want to do it or not. It's $99 a month as a partner. If you want executive, it gives you the ability to get special resources and training for your sales team. It gives you access to all of my webinars and videos as I'm releasing them. So there's probably over 100 to 200 extra resources there. You're getting the ability to get paid 50% on the funding your customers get. It doesn't come as part of any of our program, but if you've got customers, and you're getting paid 50% of the funding, the average payout on one funding deal would pay for a year and a half of executive. So our clients don't complain about executive very much, because the people that do then miss the funding commissions, and like one deal pays for a year and a half of executive. So hopefully that answers your question. But remember, that's voluntary, and my advice is you don't even think about executive until you get up and going and you get customers. That's when it makes a lot of sense. How much is the unsecured business financial program? The lending typically out there, the finance sources typically charge 12%. We do a lot of volume with our guys, so they charge like 9.9%, and they roll it right into the cards you get, just like an SBA loan. So that's how that works. But of course, we never charge you a dime, but they're charging you about 9.9% to get the funding, and they roll it right into the cards that you get. And those sources are also the ones that help you liquidate, and there's a ton of other cool benefits. But we're about 2% lower than the average in the industry, but that's the lowest these guys typically go, is about 9-10%. Yesterday I spoke with Renato. Renato, he's our newest guy on our team. I hope you enjoyed him. He's cool. And Lance, which is Lane at your company. They say that you no longer have access to running Experian and D&B reports. We used to have the ability to report, to actually get Experian credit reports to review them. Like you just saw a bunch of snapshots of Experian reports today. Well, those we used to have the ability to get, but we don't anymore. We still have the nav integration. You could get the Experian and DMB like I showed you, but we can't pull lending reports from Experian for you like we used to be able to, because Experian and just they don't like the fact that we're in the business credit industry and have access to business credit reports. So hopefully that helps. They offer to run a report. They will. It's not an unknown credit agency. They offered to run a credit report for you using Credit Safe. But you have to remember, if you were a client already, then you would already have access to D&B and Experian for only $24 a month. We just can't pull those lender reports like we once could. How do we access to angel investors you mentioned? I gave you, and in the slideshow and in the replay, you can go back. I gave you over 100 angel investing networks and investors that you can connect with to get the angel investing. Time starting from ground zero. Literally, I'm looking in to build a real estate investing company. So can I start with you? Can you help? EIN? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. As you saw in step one of what's nice about our finance suite is a couple things. One, it's designed for wherever you are in your scenario. Meaning, let's say you're already established. A lot of people say, man, I already have a lot of the credibility stuff. Fantastic. When you come in here and you get started, then if it says you have a business name, you're going to go through pretty quick. Yep, I do. Here's my business name. I move on. You're on to step two. Okay. Do you have the business address set up? Yeah, I got the business address set up. And I'm entering the information. No, it's not a PO box. Save and continue next step. But if you say no, then we help you with every aspect of that. So the finance suite is set up. Look, there's two things we really care about. Speed. That's one. Getting you the fastest business credit, the fastest way to get funding. The whole system's built like that. And you see these little things like, if you have a business address, we're not going to train you what you need to know to get a business address. That makes no sense. We're only going to teach people that don't have a business address. And the other thing, it's designed to get you the most amount of money by tying in all financing sources and business credit. So you can go through, and our team will help you with this. Why that matters? I got a buddy of mine that has a massive business, and they charge $3,000 for what we do in step one, just to help. And you probably already know this if you've looked into it. Just to help set up your business, they charge $3,000, and he's got a very successful business doing it. That's all part of it. So we help you from ground up, set up the business, get the business credit sources, access the financing, everything you need. We help you with that process. Is that part of core? John asked me that question in its entirety because I can't link that with other questions you've asked. I have the core package, and I never got close to any of the bonus you're offering now. How much do I have to pay for them? You don't have to pay for the bonuses. Just get in touch with our team, and we will find a way to get you access to the bonuses so you don't miss out, Victor. We wouldn't charge you for bonuses. That's just not how we work. You already know us better than that. I'll be in touch on Thursday. Perfect. I have several of these steps already completed. Good. Then we'll talk to you about something custom for you. Can you get business funding with the CPN? Look, CPNs are scams, guys. Okay, that's what a CPN is. A CPN is a credit privacy number. It's meant for people with Congress and senators and people that actually in witness protection that really need protection. This whole idea that you're going to use a bogus CPN to get anything is ridiculous, and here's why. In order to get funding, you need to enter a social security number on the application. A CPN is not your social security number. The federal government, I am not an attorney, this is not legal advice, A disclaimer: the federal government has laws that say that any way you misrepresent your social security number is 2 felonies. It's fraud. So you can't ever use a CPN in place of your social. You'll never find a funding application that asks for your CPN. So CPNs are bogus. You never want to get a CPN. You never want to pay for one because you can't actually ever use them to get funding because it's not your social. You can't by law put it on an application. Okay, so hopefully that helps. If you want more information on that, go to youtube.com/credit suite, type in the word letter CPN, and I've got videos that walk you through what you need to know. The videos even show you what Experian, what the Federal Trade Commission, what Equifax, what Dun & Bradstreet, it shows you what all these guys actually say about CPN so you can see what that looks like in the real world. Is the unsecured business program separate from the core program? No, all funding programs, the unsecured business funding, the way that it works is that program is part of our funding. So if I go to finance my business, the finance my business section of the finance suite right down here, you can actually see unsecured business financing is right here. So all of our funding programs, and we're adding a ton more, we kind of have them broke up into these different groupings. Now you can come in and apply for unsecured business financing here, but remember our team works with you on this so you don't have to go direct to the source, and here's why. We have multiple sources that do this, and it's so weird. We see some that will completely deny somebody, while then the other one gets somebody approved for 80 grand. Or so we have all these scenarios. So we need to look at your individual scenario to be able to get you with the best program. But remember that we don't, if you're enrolling for any of our programs, we can't guarantee that you're going to qualify for financing. You're still going to have the credit needed to qualify. But yeah, all the funding programs come as part of our back office. And in the months to come, we are adding angel investing, we are adding crowdfunding, we are adding other things in here too. You already saw some screenshots of some of the data research we're doing to do that. I just want to offer your business funding to my client. Is that the $99 a month plus commission? You can give us a call and we'll talk to you more about that. That's not really a program that we offer. We can set you up as an affiliate and you could refer those customers and still earn an affiliate commission. I will tell you, you'd earn a lot more money if you were a partner, but you can still be an affiliate and earn some money on the funding commissions. Just give us a call, send us an email, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about the affiliate program. And it's not something that you'd have a cost with, but in all fairness, you'd make a fraction of what you'd make as an actual partner. So it kind of depends on how many of these you actually have. So I don't have any other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Ultimately, look, my goal with any presentation I do is to make sure you walk away with a heck of a lot more information than when you showed up here. I think we've done that today, right? We talked about business credit, what it is, the benefits. We showed you exactly how to do it. And I went through easily over 27, 30 different ways you could get funding, introduce you to where to get grants and angel investments and venture capital and how all these different programs work. So whether you work with us or not, my goal is that you walk away with a ton of information that can help you get money, because I think you could do some pretty cool stuff if you have access to it. And statistics show that if you don't have access to it, that it's a hard road to be successful in business. But I also hope that what we've done and put together makes sense for you as well. I'd like to work for you. When we came up with a finance suite, my idea was pretty simple. Why is all this stuff all over the place? Why can't we pull together all lenders and all funding programs to one place? And why can't we give people finance experts that can help them through this process? And why don't we bring in business credit as well and take this really complicated process that usually only middle 10 million to plus businesses have access to the little guys, to the guys just getting started? And why don't we take this complicated process and simplify it into steps? And if people get confused or scared or lost along the way, let's give detailed support experts that will not just answer calls, but will call out and proactively coach you to be successful. And years and years later, and millions of dollars invested, here we are. We've got that. It's the only solution out there that combines business credit and financing. It's the only full service coaching program for business credit. It's the only solution where you can get every legitimate funding program in one place. It's the only solution that comes with a full finance team with finance officers and processors. There's more finance sources here than anywhere else with over 1,000 lenders. And you know what it all is? It all comes down to one thing. it gives you the greatest ability to get money in one place and have the people that can help you along the way indefinitely whenever you need money. We have more business credit sources than anywhere. It's the only place that you get every source listed with where they report and what the qualification is. I mean, we take years of this complicated business credit building process and simplify it into months. And the best part is it's basically free because all the money you save on credit monitoring and Dun& Bradstreet valuations and all the other stuff is all there. And that doesn't even mention where we're going here. We're working on things with LexisNexis. We're looking with Small Business Financial Exchange to come up with scores that actually show you and compare your data to the data that lenders are actually looking at. We're coming in with all kinds of really cool things that make it easier for you to add accounts you already have to your business credit reports and on and on and on. There's so many different things that we're working on to make it even easier for you in the future to be able to build business credit and financing as well. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And if it does, it will work with you on customized payments. You just have to give us a call, or you can get in right on what we have and get 6 bonuses that are worth like 2-3 times more than your even investment is. And again, you still get all the savings and the full team and the support. Look, statistics are simple. The majority of businesses fail because they can't access capital and managers make mistakes. Well, of course, managers make mistakes. We have no flipping idea what we're doing as entrepreneurs. We figure this stuff out as we go. It's what makes us awesome as entrepreneurs. But if you have the money to afford to make mistakes and recover, then then statistics show that you're going to be one of the survivors, one of the people that builds a successful business and financial freedom for you and your family, etc. It all comes down to getting capital. So if you work with us, I'd love that. It'd be awesome. It'd be honored. But even if you don't, then hopefully you got the information you need today to be able to access the capital you need, because that's my end goal. It's just that you have the money you need to grow a successful business. So I'm going to wrap this up and answer a few other questions I have, and then we'll get this wrapped up. No, Cheryl, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your time. I know how valuable it is. Thank you, Ty, for all the information. I'll be in communication. Thank you very much, Angel. I look forward to talking with you. Victor, I own a mortgage company, and I mentioned the VIP package so I can add service. That's awesome. It's $1,000 more from core to VIP, and you said you enrolled us core, so it's $1,000 more. Give us a call, send us an email, or just talk to the team member that brought you in, and they'll help upgrade you. We could even break that down into payments for you. Thank you all very much for taking the time to tune in tonight. I really appreciate it. I know as an entrepreneur how valuable your time is, and I truly am honored to have an opportunity to have spent this couple hours with you. If you have any questions, I don't expect you to be on your own from this point forward. Give us a call, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487, or email us, info@creditsuite.com, and we'll gladly answer any questions you have and help you as much along the way as we can. And thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. And thank you for all the awesomeness and the thank yous in the comment bar. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap up, 877-600-2487. Don't forget the special link is creditsuite.com/webinar. It's up through Friday. And if you go to that page, you will see that there's a countdown clock until the offer expires. Then we typically take down the page. Sometimes we do webinars and we'll put it back up, but our normal webinar that we do from time to time don't have all these bonuses. These are bonuses I added only for this event. It's the first webinar I've ever had these bonuses, and it's the first webinar I've ever even put Ultimate on the page as well to give you multiple different options. So creditsuite.com/webinar, 877-600-2487, or email us, info@creditsuite.com. And thank you all, and Cher and everybody else. I appreciate you getting in touch with us. I look forward to talking with you, and I'd be honored, and it'd be really cool to have an opportunity to work with you all. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a great day. And again, I hope you're walking away with some really good information that can really have a positive impact on you, your business, your life, and your family, because that's my goal. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.